Jai Narayan students, good morning. Today, this is the third part of our video lecture series of class 10th history, and we are studying chapter 2nd, that is nationalism in India. Now, in today's lecture, I will be talking about the Rowlatt Act and a very infamous incident, Jallianwala Bagh incident, which is closely related to this act. Now, let us first understand what this Rowlatt Act was and why it was being opposed by Gandhiji and other people. So, the act was passed in 1919. It was hurriedly passed through the Imperial Legislative Council. Now, this Imperial Legislative Council was a legislature for British India, which means that the British Crown formed a council named as Imperial Legislative Council to make laws for Indian territories or the Indian colony. This council worked from 1861 to 1947. This council was composed of a few Indian members also, and most of the members in the council were British members. Now, as we studied in the earlier lectures, that Gandhiji, after returning from South Africa, had worked very hard for farmers and workers, and he consecutively won against the British authorities, the planters, and thereby he became a very famous personality in Indian politics. He also had a lot of followers, and the British administration was very concerned that Gandhiji may launch a very large scale movement against the British government. So they decided to pass this Rowlatt Act, and despite of the opposition from the Indian members, they passed it. Now let us understand why the Indian members were opposing this act. So you can see in the second point that this act gave the British government enormous powers, and with this power they could repress now political activities. Under this act, the British government and the British authorities were allowed to detain any political activist for 2 years, and that too without trial. Means if someone is arrested by the police, then he or she can be detained for 2 years in the prison without having a chance to prove his innocence. Earlier, what happened that if police arrested someone, then they brought that person before the court for trial. Here, the word trial means court proceeding. So earlier, if anyone was arrested, he or she was presented before the court, and the judge heard about his case and gave used to give him a chance of proving his or her innocence. But now, after this act was passed, no hearing was given to such arrested person, and he was detained for 2 years without any trial. After 2 years, he could be brought to the trial. So this was really very repressive measure by the government. Now, because Mahatma Gandhi was in India now, and he had gained a lot of popularity among the people, and he was a prominent leader of Congress, so he decided to launch a non-violent civil disobedience against such unjust law. Now, do not confuse this civil disobedience with other major civil disobedience movement. Basically, civil disobedience means not following the laws. A very popular civil disobedience was launched by Mahatma Gandhi later on. But here in this movement, also Mahatma Gandhi said that we are not going to uh, follow this Rowlatt Act, and we will be protesting against it. So Gandhiji launched a hartal on 6th April. Now, this movement was called the Rowlatt Satyagraha. Also, you must know that this Rowlatt Act, as you can see in this slide, was called Black Bill also. इसको काला कानून भी कहा गया because it was very disappointing, very repressive for Indian political units, and therefore Gandhiji opposed it. He launched a Rowlatt Satyagraha. Now rallies were organized, as you can see in the picture, in various cities. Large rallies were organized. Workers went on strike, basically in the railway workshops, and the shopkeepers closed down their shops. Means all kind of hartals by various sections of the society and followers of Gandhiji was done. A nationwide hartal, fasting means bhuk hartal, and civil disobedience means violation of the law was done by people under this Rowlatt Satyagraha. So this is how they opposed this act. Now, as the people are opposing, the government will definitely want to repress this movement, this opposition. So the British administration decided to clamp down on nationalists. Local leaders were picked up from Amritsar, which was at that time a hub of these kind of movements and uh, anti-government activities. Mahatma Gandhi was barred from entering Delhi because Delhi was uh, a main point where all the Congress leaders used to plan against the government and their further plannings about the movements. So Mahatma Gandhi was barred from entering Delhi, and many local leaders like Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Kichlu, they were arrested. On 10th April, the police in Amritsar fired upon a peaceful procession. A peaceful procession was going, and the police started firing on them. Now, this provoked the people. They were now agitated, and they attacked on various government institutions like banks, post offices, railway stations. So, kind of violence started now. On 10th April, when the police attacked this peaceful procession, the people also reacted as they were not trained well in non-violent way of protesting. So they got angry very uh, easily, and they attacked on the banks and post offices and railway stations. Now, following this, the martial law was imposed. Now, we should also understand what a martial law is. So, as you can see, martial law involves the temporary substitution of military authorities. मार्शल लॉ के अंदर जो पुलिस होती है बेसिकली, जो कि डे टू डे आपके लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को मेंटेन करने के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल होती है, दैट police system is now, or police power is now given to the military authorities. Now they take up this responsibility of maintaining law and order for civilian rule, and generally it is invoked in the time of war or rebellion or any natural disaster. You also see many a times when there is a natural disaster or any uh, rebellion activities, then the central government used to deploy their military there for relief work or for controlling the situation. So this is called the martial law. But it is now it is different from that British time martial law. When martial law is in effect, the military commander of an area or country has unlimited authorities to make and enforce laws. And this is what happened that time. The commander was General Dyer, and now he took control of the law and order, and he passed various orders, like no one will be gathering. There must not be a huge gathering anywhere, and no processions or rallies were allowed now. So these kind of many orders were passed by General Dyer to control the situation. As I already told you that many local leaders like Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Satyapal were arrested under this act. So people also started protesting against their arrest. So this all was going on, and then on 13th April, this very infamous Jallianwala Bagh incident happened. Basically, on that day, 13th April, a very large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh. As you can see in the picture, there was a huge crowd. Now, most of the people who were gathered here were basically there for their Baisakhi fair. Annual Baisakhi fair was held in this Jallianwala Bagh, and people from remote villages and towns used to come in this fair to celebrate this festival. And the martial law was imposed, but many rural areas and village people did not know about this martial law, and they did not know that they are not supposed to gather at a place in large numbers. So these village people, these rural people came here for Baisakhi fair. Thousands of people were there, and with them, some protesters also came in this uh, Bagh, as claimed by the British authorities that there were many protesters who were uh, protesting against the government in this Bagh. But actually, I don't think this was the case. This claim was made by the British authorities that we fired on because there were protesters on that Bagh. So some protesters also came here, and they were planning the further movements against this Rowlatt Act. Now, villagers were unaware of this martial law, as I told you, and had that had been imposed. This news that a large crowd is gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh reached to General Dyer, and Dyer entered the area. Dyer immediately came to that Bagh, and he closed the entrance gate, blocked the exit, and opened fire on the crowd. Hundreds of people died in this event, as written in your NCERT, but uh, in fact, thousands were killed. Uh, Few jumped into the well to protect themselves, and they also died. His object, General Dyer claimed that his object was to produce moral effect and to create terror in satyagrahis. So the Jallianwala Bagh incidents happened this way, and as the news of this incident spread, crowd took to streets. Means a large crowd came on the streets in opposition to protest against this incident in many North Indian towns, especially. Then strikes started, clashes with the police happened at many places, and many of the government buildings were attacked by these peoples people. Now the government responded with brutal repression. The government also tried to repress them brutally. They humiliated, terrorized people. The satyagrahis were forced to rub their nose on the ground and crawl on the streets and do salute to all the sahibs. So, this way, the government repressed these movements, these strikes, these oppositions which happened after that Jallianwala Bagh. Many villages were bombed also by the British Army. And seeing all this, Mahatma Gandhi was very concerned and very disappointed, because his way of protesting was non-violent. And now, as the violence started happening by the people who were satyagrahis and also by the police, so he decided to call off this movement. And on 18 April 1919, he called off this uh, Rowlatt Satyagraha. So this was it. Now I have some homework questions for you. I hope you will do them, and you can send the pictures on my WhatsApp number. Thank you, students, for being with me. And if you have any queries, you can ask in the live sessions. Thank you so much. Jai Narayan.